Hello and welcome to another video of Archons Only, where we try to beat Genshin Impact using only Archon characters. So we're finally doing the last Archon quest for Fontaine. At least here's where we solve what happened with Furina and the whole story behind her. And I have to say that this is the first time that I do it in one of my accounts. Although I know what happens and I think I have some spoilers regarding the whole thing, I actually don't know how exactly happens. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm going to showcase everything because I know that this is a really long Archon quest. And especially there's a lot of dialogue and a lot of things that you need to go through. So I might select what I'm going to show, mainly this part that it's basically trying to go through a domain. I think here's where we find out part of the story and what do they tell or why Fontaine's going to sing and what's responsible of that. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be a great moment to actually find out what happens with Furina and if we should consider her to be an Archon or not, which a lot of people have been telling me that Furina is not an Archon, that I should get Nubilet and different things. So we will see what that they tell us in the story. And after this, we can actually think if we should use or not Furina anymore. So in other news, I know that Mavuika is going to come up soon, so stay tuned for those videos. I don't know when I'm going to upload them. I feel like it's going to depend on how lucky or unlucky are we with the pooling system. I think I have enough, maybe I'm wrong, but I might have enough for guaranteed Mavuika, but our PT is at 0, so we need to really get really lucky if we don't want to spend all the primages that we have. And ideally, if I win the 50-50, I would like to go through her weapon because I feel that's going to be great for our DPS potential, especially because I plan to play her as a main DPS. I think on field, because I heard that for off field sub DPS you actually need to have Natlan characters, which we're not going to have. So I think main DPS is going to be good enough, and that's basically what we need in one side of the abyss. So that would be fun to play. So if you get her weapon, I think that's going to be great to get great at the DPS damage level. I don't know how big of a boost it is. Maybe after she's released, I'm going to see people testing it and they're going to suggest which weapons are going to be great for her. I can also hear in your comments. If you know, please let me know so we can actually try to build her in a better way. But as I don't have any other goal until we get Shnetsaya or another Archon is released, then I think I'm going to go all in and try to pull for her, to try to get her, and also try to get her signature weapon. That would be ideal. And if not, we're going to get some PT, I guess, build up in the weapon banner, or maybe we use the 50-50 and then we get nothing. So we will see. That's going to be fun to see, but I'm willing to risk it all in order to get both Mavuika and the weapon. So we will see how it goes. The other thing is, like, the year's almost over, so thank you so much for being through this whole year watching my videos. Depends when you started watching these videos, basically. Welcome, thank you. I hope I can show you more things. I know that some videos are not of the best interest or best quality. For example, this one's a lot of like dialogue, and maybe it's interesting for me because it's an Archon quest or it's related to an Archon, but at the same time I feel like it's kind of boring because not much is happening. We're not doing wishes, we're not doing much, but I feel that after this we're going to get some Mavuika. We still have to do things with Chong-Li. He's not completely built, so there is a lot of room for improvement. So I hope those videos are going to be more entertaining than these ones. I don't know how long they will take to arrive, and it also depends on how many other things I have to showcase before them, but at least you're going to know that I'm going to have a Mavuika video as soon as I get her. So that's something to wait for. Maybe in a week or two, that's something to discuss, but we will see. So unfortunately this video is not going to be Mavuika because I think she's not even going to be able to be wishable by the time that this video goes live. But that's something we can wait for the future and see if you're able to get her or not. So again, thank you so much for being with me in this journey. This is the episode 94, which is insane. It's going to be so much fun to have the episode 100. It's going to be a really big goal. It's something I would never thought about that. That's something I do would last this longer. But I think it's going to be fun to actually see. I hope the episode 100 is going to be entertained. I will try to get something interesting happening, but we will see. Maybe we can do a Spiral Abyss with all the 5 Archons. No, not 5. 6 Archons. That would be insane. I think that's going to be a great way of having that 96 video. So we will see what happens from now on, and if we have enough material to actually do that later. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you continue watching. I hope you enjoy both Archons Only and Fatui Only, and I hope to see you here next year with more videos and more exciting content. Especially, I think that this next year is going to start crazily because we have 3 wishes to make. We have one is going to be Mavuika, and the other one is going to be Arlecchino and Tartaglia, which is great for Fatui Only. So I feel like it's going to be a lot of Primogen being spent. That means that we're going to end up with nothing in our wallet, or at least in our stock. So it's going to be fun to try to farm for some Primogens again. Especially, I'm concerned about Fatui Only to try to get Arlecchino and get Tartaglia when nothing is guaranteed. But we will see what happens. We don't need to anticipate ourselves. We're going to get some wishes also from the Lantern Rite, and they tend to be a lot generous in those Lantern Rite games or different things, events that they generate. We have the 10 wishes that are guaranteed, so at least we're going to get some things over there. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed your holidays. I hope you have a break, and I hope that you can play a lot of Genshin Impact during this break. Maybe this is intended that during the New Year's break, although it's China they don't have this New Year's, they have the Lunar New Year, right? So I don't know if it's on purpose that in the place where you have the best characters, or the patch where you have the best characters, is when most of the people are free to play Genshin Impact. So do you think that's going to happen? It's going to be Mavuika's final Archon quest. So after finishing Fontaine, we can actually try to see if we can do Natlan. That would be fun. I think that's the only region that we're missing, right? So maybe that's something that we can do, especially if we get Mavuika. Then it's going to be fun to do explore Natlan and try to do different things with a Natlan character. I remember that my first idea of this challenge was to actually have try to do each region once I get a specific Archon, and I'm so glad that I didn't do that, because I would be stuck in Liyue. I would not able to set a foot in Liyue because of that. Which would be terrible. But yeah, I feel that it was a good idea not to go for that. But yeah, we can actually do it for Natlan. And we will see what happens in the next regions, and how much we can explore with the different characters that we have. So until now, I have to say that the Archon quest has been really slow. Not many things happen. I guess we're going to learn some truth about Furina's background, how she was created, where she appears, how the whole thing works, and why the curse was sitting upon her, and what's basically why Fontaine is doomed to die, basically. But yeah, let me know what do you think about this Fontaine quest. If you like it, if you didn't like it, what's your favorite part? Especially now that we are, at least I'm planning to finish this in one video, maybe 2. Depends on how long it is. But if I'm able to show everything, then let me know which one is your best part or the favorite part into this Archon quest. And if there's anything that you would like to change, what do you think about it? How do you rank this Fontaine one compared to the other ones? I feel that maybe Nahida is one of the most interesting one for me. We will see what happens after we finish this one, to see if still Nahida is the top one or not, but we'll see. And the other thing I would like to hear from you is, like, what do you plan to wish for? Because there are going to be a lot of wishes coming up now. We know Arlecchino's rerunning, and Arlecchino's a really powerful character. It's Pyro character. Then we have Mavuika, that Mavuika is an Archon, so the Archons are always being really, really useful, at least at the moment of release. I don't think venti is useful anymore, but agree to disagree. But yeah, let me know if you plan to wish for any of the different characters that are going to rerun in these two next patches, and what do you think is going to be, or where do you think you're going to spend all your primogens, and especially if you have enough primogens to actually do it, or if you're facing the 50-50, or if you're actually going to start saving right now to get any of those characters. I feel that's going to be fun to know what they're planning to do. If anyone else is planning to get an Archon, Mavuika, we can actually build them together and see how do they grow. I have been farming a little bit. I think I farmed some artifacts and I think some books that I think is going to be hers. But I think that some of the materials are not available anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. Are we going to get a map expansion? I think we're going to get a final boss. So probably the talent essential materials are not going to be available. But I don't know about the rest of things. So maybe it would be useful to pre-farm. I haven't done it, so that's another thing that we can actually do in the game. Try to farm for more things and see if we can actually do it. I've been farming the ley lines because they have a this way to get like twice the amount of price only with half of the normal amount of rising. So at least I'm getting, I think, my goals, because my books are stupidly high because I don't have any characters to level up, but my gold is running low. So this has been great for actually trying to get some gold and trying to upgrade our characters. The other thing that I need to get at some point are crowns. So I don't think I have enough crowns to max talent ascend Zhongli. So meaning like at least we're missing 3 or 4 crowns. So that's going to be terrible. But maybe I should select what I'm going to crown in the end. I know that we can get crowns. I think it's in the trees and in the calendar for Natlan, and I think the dragon spine tree is also not finished. So we have a lot of options. So if we have to do that, we can actually farm them and see what else we can see. I really love this scene because I think that Furina was about to tell the truth, and then she was teleported to the whole court, which I feel so bad because maybe she tell the truth to the traveler, then the whole thing would be different. I know that the whole idea was to bring them into a trial and the whole point of this, but I feel that was insane. And this part is also insane. I thought that it was kind of rude to try to make her disappear with the water, and I was so happy that she didn't disappear. And so I was like, okay, maybe she's not a normal citizen. Maybe she's not a normal Fontanian. Maybe she doesn't have the curse. But it was all a hoax, and I really hated that. Especially with Sigewin. I hate Sigewin saying that like she got affected. So that actually proved that she's not a god. She's like a normal person, which is insanely bad. I feel like this is the hardest point where like everyone mistrusts or lost the trust they have for her, and she has to be alone. And that's the whole thing of the prophecy. Basically, she's going to wipe in her throne, and everyone else is going to die because everything is going to be filled with water. So kind of like they purposely force the prophecy to happen. So I don't know, it's a weird thing, but in the end it was kind of like depressing to actually see Furina go this bad, especially when she's really beloved by their people. Then she's actually being hated by this point and no one believes her, and you can see it in her face, in her way of acting, the way of talking. She cannot handle it anymore. I feel so bad for her. I have to say that between Nahida and Furina, both stories are really, really sad. And this is the worst part, when she breaks down and she realizes like everything is already gone, and then she literally she starts crying and like she faces her destiny, I guess. But after this, I think is when everything gets more interesting, when we see her side of the story and what's happening and why this is happening. Especially because the oratrice is actually giving the verdict that she's guilty. which I think they play a really great game in here, saying that she's not actually guilty, like the Hydro Archon is guilty. So meaning that in here they actually tell you that Furina is not actually the Hydro Archon, or at least the Hydro Archon in her is the one that needs to die. So kind of like a weird thing in there. I still think she's an Archon. Maybe after this she's not an Archon anymore, but at the point that they released her, I think she was... well, no, she was released with this patch, or with this story. So maybe she was released as a non-Archon person. I don't know. For me, it's still an Archon. I will still use her. She's part Archon. She was part of an Archon before, but at least the human part of an Archon. If Mavuika is an Archon as a human, why she cannot be? I don't think that Nubilet is actually an Archon, so I would not try to get Nubilet, although I know he's so powerful and he's great. Maybe if we run out of characters to pull and we need to wait a lot till Nahida, then I might consider to get Nubilet, and especially because now we got all the Archons ever. If we get Mavuika, and I know that Mavuika is going to run before the whole Natlan is going to finish, because that's what happens with the Archons. They're actually rerun at some point. And this is the best scene ever. We can actually find out that there is another Furina, or at least we finally meet Falsalors, which is the Hydro Archon. I think we're reaching the climax in here. This is one of the best scenes ever, I have to say. She looks like a nun. She looks like she has a cloak in her hair. It doesn't look like hair. It looks like a cape, maybe. By here is where she accepts already that her end is coming. I don't know if Furina knows something about that, if she can feel that something disappears or that she disappears. She could see and talk to her through a mirror, so I guess like they exist in the same realm. So I would say that she would notice the absence of all colors. I don't know how that would work. But yeah, I feel that this is one of the most interesting scenes. And I would like to know what happens with the rest of the things, because Celestia should have known that Falsalor is not there anymore. They should sense that. So what's happening there that they're not actually appearing suddenly when an Archon disappears? Is Furina still going to pretend that she's the Archon, or what's going to happen with that? I feel that that leaves a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe that means that something's happening and they are not looking in the right place. I don't know. We will see what happens with the Heavenly Principles and why they're not coming back through Fontaine. Maybe it's something that's going to appear later in the whole in the whole events of Natlan, or maybe in Nahida, who knows. But at least here we know that Nubilet recovered part of his powers, and that's something I would say really interesting. And at least she got her happy ending in a way. She's been told that the whole torture is already over, the whole stage, the whole faking it's over for now, and she can actually start living as a normal person, which I feel is a good thing. I don't know if she wants to do that. I feel like she likes attention, but now she can rewrite her life and be a simple human. At least a human with a hydrovision. I think Nubilet gave her a hydrovision. So yeah, I feel like this is a great ending for the whole Fontaine story arc. I feel that some things were kind of like boring, especially the things that were in the underground prison, the Meripede of something solitude or something like that. I feel that was so boring. That could be avoided. They didn't give you anything interesting. Maybe a little bit on the Fatouis, but I don't think it's going to be good enough. But yeah, I feel that that's something that could have been avoided at all. I know it's showing that, okay, there's a risk of the Primordial Sea racing and these kind of things, but I don't think it's important enough. You can see here that everything went underwater. This is beautiful. I wish that they leave everything underwater and you can actually explore it underwater. That would be amazing. That would be a great change of the map. I was not expecting to the waters to like go down and that the city to emerge at some point. I was expecting everything to be covered underwater. I feel that having this idea that we can swim underwater in Fontaine, that would be a great way to improve the map. I don't know. Maybe it would be worse in a way because everything should be done underwater, fighting enemies and such. But I feel that could be a good idea to showcase what an effect or something that happens in an Archon quest actually have a really strong impact in the overworld, and that's something that they're doing in Natlan. So I guess that they could have done it since Fontaine, which is kind of curious if you think about it. But yeah, here's when everything starts going down. So yeah, let me know what you think about Fontaine Archon quests, if it was through your what you were expecting or not. I know that we still need to fight Arlecchino at some point, right? Is that part of Fontaine quest or is like a side quest? How do you get that? Well, we will find out because we need to get that final boss on Fatui only if you actually get Arlecchino. So maybe we'll find out there. Although I don't think we're going to go through Fontaine quest. We still have to do so many of them. We haven't done Inazuma, we haven't done Sumeru, so a lot of things to do basically. But yeah, if not, we can jump start it. I tried to do it before and I terribly failed, so I know it's complicated and it's hard to beat. But yeah, I think this is a perfect moment to actually finish the video. So again, thank you so much for watching. Hope to have a great holidays. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share if you really like it. And I see you in the next one. Bye bye.